Good evening and welcome to the overnight edition of From Day One. Further ado, Art Bell, Michael, and Nicole Sebastian about night terrors and dream invasion.
To one's life. It's actually a very good symbol.
Okay, Matt, enjoy your woundings.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy. If you want to contact us on Skype, it's art.bell51. That's all you have to do. Oh, art.bell51, and away we go. And now to the state of Maine and Scott. Hi, Scott.
Hi, everybody. How you doing tonight?
Just spiffy.
Good. I got a couple quick things. You're talking about the dream intrusions. Like, you mentioned that you dream about something that you would not do, like sleeping with your boss. Just saying,
Right.
the person you're dreaming about, or that you're not normally doing, are they aware of that somehow and kind of being like, all right, well, I'm going to go mess with this guy today because he didn't do his work too well? Do they know they're doing that, or?
Yes and no. Sometimes they are aware of it, and generally that they are not aware of it. But sometimes people will be in the same dream, and they will have the exact same dream, and they are aware of the fact that they have been in your dream, really in your state of consciousness, without your approval, and they're messing with you. Sometimes
That's
they know
really
it.
weird.
Sometimes
oh,
they
that's
don't.
weird. Yeah.
Okay.
Weird, very weird, having the same dream, and then, talking to that person about it afterwards. That's really weird. All right, I get messages by way of something called the wormhole, and I have one here, which asks, do dream catchers work? I'd like to know, too.
If you believe in them, yes. If you don't, no. Yeah, because your consciousness gives it power. In other words, if you believe in something, suddenly you're empowering it, and it does have power at that point, only to the extent that you just gave it that power.
So, a dream catcher, by itself, means absolutely nothing unless you believe it means something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's kind of disappointing, actually.
Think of the power involved, though. We have the power to assign something, and suddenly it has real power to stop negative dreams.
But only if you believe in it. So it's actually kind of like voodoo.
Yeah, and it's interesting. When for example, I just thought of my daughter when she was 3 years old. We lived in the country, and I had built the house from scratch, and there was a lot of scorpions. It was in Texas. I must have built it where the scorpions lived or something. There was literally thousands of them, and I couldn't get rid of them. And she would wake up at night, and there'd be a scorpion in her bed or in her pajamas, and it was stinging her. She must have been stung. I don't know how many times. So at some point, I came up with a solution. I went down and I said, okay, what I'm going to do is put a scorpion wall, because she was freaked out. She didn't want to sleep, didn't want to go in her bedroom. I said, I'm going to put a scorpion wall around your bed. And it's an energy ball. It looks like this. And I went and I showed her, and she visualized it. And I went to each corner of the bed and did the wall. And guess what? No more scorpions ever bothered her there. And she was 110% sure it was the scorpion wall. And at first, I kind of had my doubts, but soon I confirmed the fact that it worked. And at that point, it was the power of the scorpion wall.
Okay, does that work for spiders?
It should.
The reason I say this is because the other day a spider dropped on me, apparently from nowhere, felt like it anyway,
Right.
and bit me. Back of the neck. I
Really?
slapped it with my hand. Oh, yes. I slapped it with my hand, and I had a whole handful of spider juice. It was awful. The fire department came. Anyway. Let's go to Indiana and Tron. Really, Tron? Hi.
Yes, really, Art. How are you?
Fine.
I have a question for the Dream Team, and I have a quick question for you as well, if I can get it in real quick.
Okay.
My grandmother passed about 3 years ago, and she came back to visit me, and she still does in the dreams, and some of the dreams are just so real. I have conversations with her, and
I've even asked her what the other side was like before, and we have a conversation to talk. Yeah, I did. And,
Wait. What did your grandma say about the nature of the other side?
It was weird. We were hanging out in her kitchen, which is kind of where I grew up, and I asked her what the other side was like, and she always liked to joke around, and she said that it's great. It's really great over here, only everybody walks around naked. So, and we we laughed about that. That was her sense of humor.
I don't know if that's something to look forward to or not. Okay, well, anyway.
But, anyways, some of those dreams are just so super real, and they're so connected. And then I have other dreams about her where she's in the dream, and we're just along for the ride, basically. You know, some dreams don't make sense, and I just wanted to ask them why sometimes I'll acknowledge her and tell her I miss her, and we'll talk, and then other times she's just along for the ride in the dream. She's part of it.
I think the difference is one is an actual you're visiting with her. The other is that she represents a symbol and a message within the dream as opposed to an actual visit. And those dreams you would merely decode and then, extract the message and act accordingly.
That's a really good answer. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. And I have a question for you too, Art.
Sure.
I was listening to one of your older shows from 2001, probably. I don't know. And you were having this sequence of dreams for like a week straight. You were dreaming that you were living out other people's lives, and the way you described the dreams, there was this. You could even remember the most minute detail of these dreams, and you were talking to dream experts actually, and I was wondering if you still remember those dreams, that sequence you were having, and the way you were talking to them, you were almost gonna go check it out, like you were gonna go to a different state because you knew where the dreams were happening, and I don't know, that's always stuck with me.
I don't remember this at all. I don't remember it at all. It could be Alzheimer's creeping up on me or something, but honestly, I don't remember that. Are you sure it wasn't somebody on my show, or?
It was you talking about it, and you weren't exactly thrilled about it, but I don't know, it was still happening to you, and I just found that so fascinating, and I just never.
That is fascinating because I don't remember it.
Yeah, it's been about 12 years ago, I guess, for you, so you had a lot of things.
Even 12 years ago, I think I would remember that. I remember I had one out of body, happened in Paris, France, while we were on vacation. So I think I would remember that, to be honest with you. I mean, that's a big event if you're dreaming virtually every night of being somebody else. No, I'm sorry. I don't recall that. So there you have it. Hello, Jeff. Jeff in Idaho. Turn your radio off, please. Off, Jeff. Off. Turn it off. There you go. That's better. Hello? Jeff? No, not there. So he just called us to play the radio. Brilliant. Dave in Indiana, it's your turn. Hi.
Hey, how you doing, Art?
Just fine.
Hey, a few weeks ago, I'm a truck driver. A few weeks ago, I was in my bunk sleeping. My co-driver was driving, and I had a nightmare, that I was on the top bunk. We were heading towards an overpass. The overpass was really low.
Oh my
and
God.
it was going to squish me.
Oh my God.
On the bed.
That's horrible. Horrible. Do you know there's a webcam that watches an underpass, which has a million warnings. You know, it's like 12 feet or something like that. And this webcam just watches all the time while these trucks run into this thing and shave off the top of the truck. Just exactly what you're talking about.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's hilarious because it's awful. And your dream, you know what, buddy? I'd stay the heck out of the top bunk if I were you.
And right before they hit the overpass, in my dream, I was banging on the cabinet to tell my co-driver
that this overpass was too low. And when I woke up, I was at the foot of the bed, halfway off the bed, holding myself up on the floor.
Well,
And
folks, would you say he's having a prophetic dream, or what does that sound like?
I don't know what the dream meant, but now every time we go under overpasses, even if it's 20 feet tall, I'm still afraid that we're going to hit it.
I hear you. Prophetic dream, folks, or what?
Yeah, hopefully it's not a prophetic dream, but it might be, it might be a warning dream. If Dave, I would take it as a keep alert for the next month or so. All right.
Yeah, that's
here,
what consistent with sleep.
on a lighter note, I was going to say it's a dream that needs to be decoded, and it's something to this effect. If it were my dream, it would probably be in the realm of I'm limiting myself in some way. I'm cut off from something in some way, and it's something to do with work, which is why it happened while you were in your truck, because your truck represents work.
Right.
Yeah,
In the meantime, I'd stay the hell in the lower bunk if I were you.
It was funny because I wasn't even on the top bunk while I was sleeping. I was on the bottom bunk.
In that case, I'd learn to sleep in a seat, whatever it takes. I mean, their advice to you was stay alert. Now, how do you do that? How is that consistent with sleep?
Anytime I get tired out here on the road, even if I'm not done driving for the day, I pull over and I'll take an hour or two nap just so I can stay alert and stay awake.
Good for you. I appreciate the call. That's really scary stuff. Really scary stuff. If I were a trucker, boy, I don't know how I could deal with a dream like that. I really don't. Kentucky and Sam, hi.
Hi, my name is Sam. I had experiences in that twilight that y'all were talking about earlier, where I was having a contemplating like meditation, and I guess I closed my eyes and I thought I was dreaming. I looked around and I was me, but it was almost like it was a different reality. And when I realized that I was in this other like phase, that's when I came back. And was that a dream, or was I in the astral plane, or if it was real? I could feel the wind, and I could see the plants moving, and it was really detailed.
It sounds like soul travel to me, Michael.
Yeah, I'd say, Sam, it's soul travel. In other words, you were in a different place. And when you realize that, that's a sure signal. You'll usually, at that point, you'll bounce back into your state of consciousness here, back into your physical body. But that twilight sleep is when you actually begin to leave the body and become aware of it, which is really a nice experience. I'm sure you'll have it again soon.
Oh, it felt real good. It was right where I wanted to be. So I was, kind of thinking maybe I'm making it myself in my mind, but it's kind of neat to know that that's out there, I guess.
Yep, soul travel.
All right, well, thank you.
Actually, it's my experience that the beginning of soul travel is kind of disturbing. In other words, frequently associated with soul travel, or the beginning of possibly leaving your body, there's a kind of a vibration and a humming, and it's not really comfortable.
And yes, and many people have said that, actually, because we're not used to it in the physical here. And when we get ready to leave, a lot of times there'll be a popping sound like a cork being released from a bottle. Other times you'll get that humming sound, and you'll start to float out, which most people at that point freak out. And when you do, you come right back into the body again. But as we get used to it, it's a sense of freedom. We're released from the body. How nice to be able to get out of the body for a while. Geez.
Yes, indeed. All right. Hold tight, y'all. So in other words, you begin drifting off. You start having little fantasies of whatever, and then you're out. From the high desert in the great American Southwest. That's the number. That's the way to connect. And don't forget, Skype. I'm art.bell51. That's it. Art.bell51. You can call the Skype just by putting that in. You don't have to be on lists or anything like that. You can just directly call Art.bell51, as Dave did, who's on Skype right now. Dave, you're on the air with the Dream Team.
Hey, Art, how's it going tonight?
It's going really well.
Can you hear me okay?
I do.
Cool. I don't think I can say enough Roswells to welcome you back.
Thank you.
So my question leads into the last little thing we were talking about, that sound and that noise that comes when you're about to transcend.
Yes.
So I had an experience like that, but I felt like it was a shadow person because I felt that hum and I could see out of the corner of my eye, like I had sleep paralysis. I could see that there was almost like a presence there, but the more that I listened to you guys talk about this experience, it kind of feels like maybe it wasn't that. Do you guys have any experience with these people or experiences hearing from others about shadow people with the same type of, the humming, the frequency? Because I'll never forget that humming. That's the one thing that confirmed to me that it was there, was the hum.
Yeah, and the hum is really, it's that universal sound that we were talking about so far, and it's the hue, but at a real low level, it just feels like or vibrates like a hum. And even quantum physics talks about it. It's a 0-point field. It says there's a low-level hum or you can
very profound.
Yeah.
It's something you feel as much as hear.
Yes. And interesting, so, you had mentioned out of the side of your eye, you could
right.
see a shadow person. We can see, when we look straight ahead, we don't see other dimensions or perceive other entities, but when we look out of the side of our eye, we will catch sight of things moving sometimes. Everyone's had that experience, and that's because it's real. It's the same thing that cats see and feel all the time because they're connected with the other side, the astral zone. But we always catch it out of the side of our eye, and that is real.
Because it definitely felt real, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Thank you for answering my question. I really appreciate it, and I'm loving that you're back, Art.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for calling. I've got a theory about this, and I might as well expound on it very quickly. It is as follows. Yes, we see things in our peripheral vision, and I think that everybody sitting in front of computers, which are going at a faster scan rate all the time, are beginning to be influenced by that scan rate, by that frequency. And I think that increasingly it allows more and more people to see these things that otherwise they wouldn't see. That's just a theory.
Yeah. Okay. And I would agree. I think you're right on the money. And I think it's interfering with the EMFs that come off of the computer and TV and cell phones, low radio frequency, actually interfere with the electromagnetic field surrounding the body. You can call it our field, but it's we can measure it. It's a field. And with the breakdown of that, or the interference of that, we are starting to pick up more radically on the other energies that exist all around us all the time. We're like fish in a sea, and we don't realize that there's other entities or beings or vibrations or frequencies in there with us. Now we're starting to pick up on it because of our exposure to some of the technology that we previously never had.
There you go. Let's go to Tammy in Missouri. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy. How are you tonight, Art?
Fine.
Well, I've got well wishes for little Asia, that she feels better.
Thank you.
And my question for your guest is, how can I prevent sleep paralyzation or paralysis, whatever you want to call it? It's bothered me off and on for 3 years, and it comes out of the blue. And when I wake up in this dreamlike state, I'm actually awake. I can see my clock. I can see my hands moving on my clock, but I can't move my body, and I go into a horrific nervous nervous frenzy. It just scares me because I'm aware of what's going on, but I can't move my body. And one time, only one, I heard a whistling in my ear, a crazy whistling. But I wrote it down when I've had it and tried to talk it out and research it on the internet, but I really am enjoying tonight's show, and I thought they could give me some insight on it.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Tammy, two things. Initially, I think everyone has experienced the paralysis at one time or another. Some people, like yourself, a lot more than normal. And,
well, it's really frightening. It is terrifying to be paralyzed, and
it is. And
I suppose the ever-present who is going to help.
Yeah, I was going to ask that, but I can't move my lips when I get this way.
But you can think it as opposed to doing it out loud, and it will have the same benefit.
Exactly. And when we come back into the body from sleeping, when we come back into the body, we're not fully back into the consciousness, back into the body yet. And because of that, the mechanism that freezes your body so you don't hurt yourself during a dream. In other words, you don't enact most dreams, jump up and go running down the stairs because in the dream you are. Because the mechanism shuts us down. And that mechanism is still on because you're not totally in energy form back in your body yet. So the solution really is, like Nicole mentioned and Art mentioned, just cue silently to yourself if you can remember it, and it will release you from that.
Now, when I get this, my heart gets really, really fast. I keep thinking that I'm diabetic. Could I have any physical problems from being so scared from this?
No, you shouldn't.
Really? I'd have said sure.
Well, I was going to ask, are you diabetic?
Yes, I am diabetic, but I mean, that doesn't really have a lot to do with it, but...
Well, what I was going to say... What I was going to say, though, is definitely, I mean, everything's connected, so you should certainly be monitoring your blood sugar, you know.
Yeah, I do. But I mean,
I'm sorry, I said sure based on what you said earlier in the show, that, physical harm can come to you in such a circumstance.
Right, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, it's really scary. I've tried to talk to people, and they blow me off like, I'm just a nightmare. But no, I was actually awake every time.
Yeah, the thing is to relax. If you can remember to relax, Tammy, when this occurs, even if you can't remember to cue, if you'll just relax and go, oh, okay, surrender to it, you'll come right out of it. And it's because you're not fully back in your body as an energy form yet. So,
Tammy, try the hue. Let me know how that works for you.
I sure will. I hope to God, I prayed to him and told him never to let that happen to me again, but at nighttime when I go to bed, it's something that really scares me.
I do understand. Thank you very much. And, let's go right back to Michigan. And Mark, hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
Fine.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say I am a first-time caller. I just started listening to your show about a week and a half ago. Yeah. I really enjoy it, yes.
How did you, out of curiosity, Michael, how did you find us?
My name's Mark.
Mark, I'm sorry. Mark.
Yeah, actually, I was listening to, what is that, HNT or something like that? I can't remember. Channel 116.
Okay.
And I heard the commercial on it, and it really intrigued me, and I wanted to start listening to your show.
Okay. Good.
Yep. But what I wanted to ask your guest there is, I have a reoccurring dream that happens every year, and it happens every year at the same time. And it's my birthday. And just be real quick about it. I don't want to get drunk, long drawn out on the dream there, but be real quick about it. It's basically I'm a child in the dream, and my mother asked me to do something, and I'm playing a video game. I tell her, I'll get it as soon as I'm done doing this, and my dad steps in and walks out to the lighthouse, does what I was supposed to do, and then when he comes back, he's like trapped inside there. He's trying to break the window, can't do it. He yells at me to go get my mother, I start running across the yard there. It turns into a sheet of ice, and I start sliding. And as I'm sliding, all these spirits come up. And right before I slide into them, I always wake up.
Wow. And you're telling me you have this every birthday of your life?
Every birthday of, yes. It did not happen. It did not happen last year. And actually, I don't know why it didn't happen. My only guess is I just got a dog last year, and she's been in my life for a little while now, and I have not had that dream since I've gotten her. But
maybe she protected you. All right, you two, that's pretty wild stuff. Except for 1 year, to have the same dream every year on your birthday. That's pretty eerie.
That is eerie. And it's interesting because the dreams that we have right around our birthday are very significant. They're a snapshot of what's coming in our life and what's really important to us, the messages that are coming through right around our birthday. So the fact that you've had that same dream recurring, we call them recurring dreams, has an important message specifically for you. And only, Mark, only you really know what that message is. And what I would do is, if it were my dream, I would, when you go to sleep tonight, and every night for the next few nights, ask and hew for a minute, just hew for maybe 30 seconds to a minute before you fall asleep, and ask for clarification on the dream. What message does that dream hold for you that comes in every birthday? And you'll have another dream. And jot
so
it down.
you can actually get an answer. In other words, I want clarification. Why do I keep having this dream? If you concentrate on that, you'll get an answer?
You bet. Hold it as you're falling asleep, ask, and night 1, night 2, night 3, you will get a dream that clarifies what that dream means, and that's specifically for you.
That's good stuff. Mitch in Wyoming, hello.
Hey, Mark, Roswell. I had a question for your guest real fast here. I deal with what's called the healing ministry at my church, and it involves a lot of dark things around. And I've noticed that they actually attack me at night as well. What can I do to protect myself from that situation?
Well, that's the best thing to do is make sure you're always remaining clear right before you go to sleep. Preferably don't watch any dark material on TV before you go to sleep, because of not only the material itself and the content, but the EMFs, electromagnetic fields that are coming off the TV will go directly into your dreams. And you can ask for protection. I would try hewing just before I fall asleep.
Hewing, okay.
Yeah, universal name for God, and it's non-denominational, and it'll set up a vibration of protection.
Michael, I watch The Walking Dead just before I go to bed a lot of times, and it doesn't bother me a bit. Not a bit. All right, let's go here, I guess. New Hampshire. Hi, Scott.
I was curious about the Astro Police. I'm a law enforcement officer right now. And, I'm destined to be an astropath after I pass, and will I probably be dealing with the same people I'm dealing now? But now thrown into jail, am I going to throw them into Astro jail later on? It really intrigued me. I was like, wow, maybe that's where cops go after they pass on.
Well, Scott, if you're a cop now, are you really looking forward to being one in the afterlife?
Actually, no. I don't want nothing to do with it.
I thought not. But it's an interesting question. Well, is he destined to continue on in the next life? Putting spirits in cuffs?
Well, the pay is really good on the astral plane, so that's good news, all right? And actually what you're doing, because you're a cop right now, you can be pretty much assured that you're also a cop right now on the astral plane, because it's like a mirror. What's going on here is closely parallels what's going on the astral plane. So you're probably already a cop there. You're doing double duty, so you should demand double pay.
Okay, pretty poor connection, actually. I'm sorry. I guess I can look forward to Astral Radio.
It sounds good to me.
Okay. Let's see. Here's somebody who's been waiting in Minnesota. John, hello.
Hey, Art, Mega Roswell, yeah, there. Thank you for bringing your guests on. I mean, it sort of explains some of the stuff that's been going on in my life since I've been about 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always believed in what I call traveling, and is going between the planes, and I don't even have to be asleep to be able to do this and all that. And,
so you're saying you can essentially astral travel while you're awake?
I could be sitting where I am right now and project myself sitting right next to you in your guest house, right almost next to your screen. You're looking at a desktop 19-inch monitor right now.
Stop that. That's really, really eerie. Have you two heard of anything like that before?
Yes, some people are very good at traveling, and they don't have to go into contemplation or into a altered state of consciousness like sleep. They do it naturally. Obviously, he does it all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like remote viewing to me.
Remote viewing is very closely parallel.
Well, I'm looking around right now very carefully, and I want to remind everybody I'm armed. Some of this stuff, like I said earlier, you can't unhear. Let's go to Kentucky and Jason.
Yeah, it's me here. I am a long-haul truck driver.
No
usually,
kidding.
Yeah. Usually I have dreams sometimes that, you have a dream and then you just forget about it, and then you just go on your day, and then you did something, you're like, whoa, I've done this before. You've never been there or whatever, and you just did it. And you're like, that's kind of strange if you ask me.
Yeah, that's known as deja vu. And deja vu is French, and what it means is having seen before. And often, we'll have a dream, a prophetic dream. We will forget the dream. Then we will meet that experience out here in the physical, and it looks familiar, it feels familiar, and that is the deja vu of a prophetic dream that we had forgotten.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty crazy.
Answer your question?
Yeah, and I have another one. This is really strange. Me and my ex-girlfriend went and seen my grandparents, like the grave, and I had my dog there with me, and I looked at my dog, and my grandparents, like, they were talking to me, and I'm like, and it was weird. So, like, the dog was actually talking to me.
That is a little strange, but interesting. And
what kind of message did you get?
Yeah,
it was like, everything's gonna be all right and stuff like that, and that was pretty much it. And we're here for you. And
this was all said by your dog, right?
Yeah. It's like it wasn't physically said. It was said
Ethically.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Okay. I guess animals can do that. You would think he'd be complaining about, being fed more or something like that, but no, it was a message actually from the other side, so it's pretty wild. Okay, to Oregon and Josh. Hello, Josh.
Hello, Art, and what an honor to be speaking with you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to get your guest's perception on a dream I had. And you talked earlier about, I think we all experienced a dream falling off a cliff or about to die, and you always wake up right before right before anything bad happens. But about 2 years ago, I had a dream, and I will never forget it. It was the most realistic dream I've ever had, and I actually ended up dying in the dream. I'll try and make it quick, but it started off a really happy dream. I got a lot of family in Montana, and in my dream, my wife and my 2 kids, we were just got on the road, heading to Montana. I had a new job lined up, and a house was waiting for us. It was a sunny day, everything's happy. When we get there, turns out my neighbor was an old step cousin of mine, my uncle's step kid, who in real life turned out to be a real crappy person. He stole lots of money from my uncle, beat him up. My uncle was a paraplegic and stole almost everything he had. But in my dream, anyways, he ends up being my neighbor, and we're friendly to one another at first. The next day in my dream, I head over to his house and going down his driveway, going there to borrow a tool. And I see him and a friend of his, who's a very large man. They're standing at the trunk of his car looking in, and as I go up, I notice it's my cousin's girlfriend. She's dead. They just killed her. And, I'm just scared out of my wits in the dream, but I try to play it cool. I'm like, telling him, she deserved what she got. And the whole time I'm telling myself, just play it cool, get out of here, and then you can call the cops. He asked me to go grab a knife out of the front seat of his car, and I do. And as soon as I turn around, I'm faced with him. He has a pistol pointed at me, and he says, "You shouldn't have came over here." He shoots me twice in the stomach, and I instantly go into shock. It felt so real. I could feel the adrenaline. Everything's in slow motion. And I tell myself, the only way you're getting out of this alive is to attack him, get that gun from him. So I rush him. He's about 3 paces away from me. I reach to grab for the pistol, and pop, shoots it and hits me right in the head. And everything in slow-mo, I see myself falling to the ground in slow motion, and everything just fades to black. And I'm telling myself, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm dead. Oh my gosh, this is death. I can't believe this is happening. And everything goes dark, and it's just complete darkness and silence for a couple of seconds. As soon as I'm asking myself, coming to terms with the realization I just died, and I ask myself, okay, what's next? At that point, I wake up.
And, well, it's reassuring that you ask yourself what's next.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's a terrible, terrible dream. Absolutely awful. Let's see what they have to say about it, folks.
Sometimes, this would be my take on that if it were my dream. Sometimes in the dream state, we work through things so that we don't have to do them out here in our daily reality. In other words, we do them on another plane, such as the astral plane, where there's a lot of violence and darkness, which is probably where that dream came from. And we actually go through it in there so we don't have to go through it out here. So it's a blessing in disguise.
It's a really good disguise. All right. Hold it right there. We'll be right back. In the nighttime, in the dark, you're listening to Dark Matter. I'm Art Bell. This is so interesting. Nancy writes, "Hey Art, that guy who talked about the dreams that you said you had, he was right. I remember it. In fact, they replayed a show recently in which you said it. So there you go. I did have those dreams. I guess time has taken its toll, eh?" And then here's another one from Tony who says, "The dream of the driver hitting the overpass? Decoded. It means he doesn't trust his driver." What do you guys think?
Trust yourself.
But could it mean that?
It could.
Yeah. I think it's about him.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, it's all.
Limiting himself, cutting himself short.
Or a warning dream, seriously, that somewhere down the way it could be a kind of prophecy. I wanted to tell him to make sure his insurance is up to date, but I didn't want to say that.
Okay, and then it is interesting. Apparently, I did have those dreams many years ago of being somebody else, and now I kind of vaguely remember it. And I guess the reason I didn't recall it is because, it just wasn't. It was important to me at the time, but it wasn't overarchingly important. In other words, some dreams I've had, like the one I explained to you about the circuit board I wrote out, actually that wasn't a dream. That was just a aha moment when I woke up. But those kind of things you remember all your life. I do recall being bothered by dreaming about being somebody else, or as though I was in somebody else's life. But it wasn't horrible. It was just weird.
That's probably a past life. That's probably a past life dream, Art. And when you dream of being somebody else, I mean, think about that for a second. It's because you're somebody else, most likely. So it's not a bad life. It could have been a great life. Maybe you're whatever in that life, but a good life.
Yeah, it wasn't a really impactful dream. It was somebody else, though. I do remember that now. Scott in California, you're on the air.
Thanks very much for taking my call. I really enjoy your show, Mr. Bell.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was sent to a sleep center one time to be tested for sleep apnea. And they hook up a lot of different sensors all over your body, your fingertips, around your chest. They'll put a deal, they'll shave your areas of your scalp so they can glue sensors on that, tape stuff on your eyelids to monitor REM and all of that. And then you're laying there under a infrared camera. But prior to the beginning of the test, the technician asked me if I wanted to spend the night or when they're done with me, wake me up and send me home. I says, no, when you're done with me, send me home. I don't want to stay here any longer than I have to. Mm-hmm. I'm laying there, I'm sleeping along and this and that. And at one point in time, I was laying there. I was completely awake with my eyes shut, trying to, go back to sleep. I don't know where I'm at in their study. So I'm just trying to go back to sleep, whatever. And I'm laying there, and I can tell that the door came open. The light, illuminated the room, and I could tell somebody walked in. The guy goes, yeah, I can see you're awake now, so you can go ahead and go home, which has really freaked me out. But with that in mind, do you think, or have they developed any technology to record our dreams? Are they looking into that? Recording dreams.
Really good question. Are they working on that? Because I want to know too. Hold on, sir. Okay. Are they working on that? Might we one day be able to record dreams?
Yeah, I think because of our digital technology and where we're at with that today, they are working on it. And there's a few sci-fi movies you guys are probably aware of that, where they're able to record dreams or even something similar to that. And we're probably not that far away, a year, maybe a few years at most, to being able to do that. So that'll be not fun.
Because with REM, they can tell things through REM, rapid eye movement. Right. One time I'm sitting there at night, and my daughter comes out, and she's talking, says something, or sits on the couch, and she's looking off into a blank stare, and I try to talk to her a little bit, and I look at her, and I said, I'll be doggone, she's sleepwalking. And then she gets up and she goes to bed, and then I asked her the next day, I go, hey, do you remember getting up and coming out and talking to me? She says, no. Well, when you get to that point in time where you're sleepwalking, there's a lot of things going on in your head and your sleep. So, right. Anyway.
Yeah, the mechanism. Yeah, the mechanism is slightly flawed. It's supposed to shut your body down. So people who sleepwalk really are enacting out a dream, and then they don't remember it. But there's a few of those people.
Okay, thanks for taking my call.
You're very welcome. Take care. Off to New York and Anthony.
Hi,
are you?
Just fine.
Okay, my story, should I begin?
You should.
Okay, well, it's sort of a long and complicated story, but when I was younger...
Well, we can't take long, complicated
All right, I'll
stories.
try to make it as fast as possible.
Encapsulated.
Okay, when I was younger, I used to see ghosts, and then I started playing with the Ouija board with me and my friends for fun. Then my friends had enough of playing with the Ouija board, but I continued to play on my own. And so one day it spelled out the word devil to me, and then I threw the Ouija board out, which I know I shouldn't have done, but I did. And I had a roommate at the time, and all of a sudden he started going through sleep paralysis. He started getting attacked. I sort of left it off. I didn't know anything about it, what it was. But then not much later, I started getting them too. So here we are simultaneously getting the attacks together. And this was going on for like 20 years.
Wow.
20 years that we have the attacks. But what's funny is that when the attacks do come on, we get them at the same time, and then they disappear for like a month or so, and then they come back, and again, we're both getting them at the same time. So I think
That's not so funny, actually.
No, and then one night, when you're having these, you could hear footsteps coming up through your stairs or something. You hear voices. You see a black shadow in the corner of the room. And one night I just woke up and I had enough, and I started screaming at it, get out of my house, and praying to God. And then it stopped for like a year. Neither one of us got the attack again. But then it came back with sort of like a vengeance where something new was happening. My whole body would tremble and shake, like vibrate, and I'd hear a loud buzzing in my head. And then one night I actually felt like I left my body. And I could see myself, and I had like a cord attached to me, and I felt like it was an incredible feeling. I felt like I wanted to go with it, but I knew that if I did go with it, something bad might happen. So I returned to my body, and I didn't know what else to do, so I looked online, and that's where I heard about getting a dream catcher. And it's funny you mentioned that before. So about a year ago, I purchased a dream catcher, and everything stopped for both me and him.
Well,
I only had,
it for you.
and that
You
stopped. I
believe
had
in it?
about 3 attacks within a year.
You believe in it, so it works.
Well, I do. My roommate doesn't, but he only gets it when I get it too, and there's only been like about 3.
Tell you what I think. I think your troubles go back to the Ouija board, but that's just me.
Yep, that's what I think too. So I mean, I don't know, but the dream catcher is helping, I think. And but the funny thing is that I actually stopped dreaming when I got the dream catcher. Like when I had a sleep paralysis attack, I would wake up having a terrible nightmare, like something really scary. And when I come out of it, like, you can't move, you could only move your eyes. But that's my story.
And it's a good one. You want to comment on Ouija boards at all, folks?
Well, other than what we were talking about earlier with the entity and the Ouija board, it definitely opens up the channel for entities to come on in. So, we don't recommend it at all. At all. I was even talking to my mother earlier today, and she had one growing up, and she said that thing moved all around, and they're very real, and they open up that channel. So if that's what you're looking for, it'll do the trick. But at the same time,
if you want to open a door, go ahead, but don't be surprised when something walks through.
Yeah.
Graham on Skype, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, it's actually Heather, but that's okay.
It says GRAEME.
Oh, I must log down my brother's instead.
I see. Okay.
Anyway, first time caller, and I've just started listening as well. Love the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My question is, they've talked about connecting to past lives, and as well as dreams sort of prophesizing future events, but I'm wondering if you can actually connect with future lives as well.
That's a good question, Heather. And the answer is yes. And I'll explain it through. Here's the best explanation that I've got: quantum physics. And quantum has proven, not speculation on this one, that there is no past, there is no future, and there's only a present moment. Because people say, they ask us all the time, how can my dreams be prophetic? how can it prophesy what's coming in a month or a year down the way? Or I met my wife 5 years before I met her in a dream, and it was very, very clear and lucid. The answer is, when we dream, we leave the body and we go into the quantum moment. We access our future lives as well as our past lives. And that way we can see and bring back some of our future lives, if that's what you're looking for.
Is there a way for, say, your future lives to direct your current life? Like, say, you got to watch out that you don't do X.
Yes, actually, when the dream information that comes in, if you simply start tracking your dreams through dream journaling, every night get really methodical about it. Anything at all, a fragment, anything you get, jot it down. Even if it's just one word, one feeling even, jot it down. And pretty soon you'll be able to look at that journal. You'll be able to actually see your future. You won't be blindsided. You will get a snapshot of where you are headed, what you need to avoid, and what you need to do to reach your potential. And it happens very quickly. Within a period of a month or so, you'll start connecting the dots.
Very cool. All right, thanks.
Thank you very much, and have a good day, and thank you for calling on Skype. I like my Skype. Florida Brains Buddy. Hi, buddy.
Hey, how you doing? How's it all going for you? Listen, I got two, and I dream a lot. I look forward to doing dreaming and stuff, but I had wild dreams about snakes and stuff like that. And then my other one is my mother's is in her 70s, and I always tell her that any time of the night, if she ever needs me, I always just sleep with my phone right beside me, my cell phone.
Right.
So one night, I had a dream that she called me and told me she felt the life being sucked out of her, and then I tried to talk to her, and she just, I don't know, I couldn't talk to her on the phone or nothing, and it was just weird.
That was a dream or reality?
Yeah, dream.
Well, I'm not a dream expert, but I guess you were concerned about her.
Yeah. Well, what about the dreams about having dreams about snakes and wild stuff like that? And I mean, I've had some dreams that so scared I even wake myself up. I know I can wake myself up, Yeah, wow.
Well, to me, it means that in the next week or so, you're going to go to bed, and you're going to wake up in the middle of the night, and you're going to feel all these things crawling around you and over you. And you're going to look down, and you're going to see about 100 snakes.
No, I ain't never had nothing like that, guy.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what it means, folks. Any idea?
It depends on it depends on what snakes means to the dreamer. In other words, some people have pet snakes and they love them. Other people, they absolutely fear and loathe snakes. So sometimes snakes in dreams mean spiritual energy also. So it's kind of a message for you to pay attention because of the snakes. Pay attention to your dreams. They have a message for you.
I know more in the fear and loathing category. Alrighty. Pennsylvania and Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Art. I got a couple of different experiences that have happened to me. By the way, it's a privilege to talk to you. I love your show. I'm an over-the-road truck driver. And imagine that. Listening night. Hey, a couple of years ago, it was February 2011, working for a company that had APUs on their truck. All right, I'm going down I-77 in West Virginia. I stopped in Ripley at a brand new truck stop. Easy, pulled right in spot. Luckily, I was dead tired. I stop, shut the truck off, my APU comes on, heater comes on. I jump in bed, I'm dead tired. I can't wait to get to sleep. I mean, I'm smiling at my pillow. I jump in bed, I try to go to sleep, and weird stuff starts happening. It's just a cool night out. It's not windy or anything. I feel my truck start moving. It's as if somebody was on it, and I heard a sound, a distinct sound of it. You could hear it yourself from the old Crocus song, a group called Crocus. And there's a song where there's like a beer bottle goes rolling across a tile floor.
Right.
And I heard that sound so distinctly, and I imagined that it was a beer bottle rolling down and hit the curb by my truck. I got up, I threw on some slip-on shoes, I jumped out, I started looking around with a flashlight. Nobody, nothing around me. Everything's quiet. Get back in the truck. Okay, this is getting annoying. I get back into bed. I felt like somebody got in my truck. I felt the door close. I heard noise. I felt a cold breeze around me as if somebody got into the truck. Nothing. I jump up. I'm looking around. Nothing. And this goes on. It's just annoying me. I'm so tired. I just want to go to sleep badly. In the morning, I got up. I finally got to sleep. I'm still tired. I wake up. I look across. And there's like a big ditch in front of me, and I would like to know if any other truck drivers experience it. And there's like a big ditch that's filled with broken concrete. Across the ditch, there's an old graveyard, which I didn't see that night. But in the morning, I spot this old graveyard, and it's right up to the edge of this ditch. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they probably disturbed some graves and some spirits. Well, a couple weeks ago, remember when you had Charles Sandus on?
Yes.
The night before that, I was on I-77 in West Virginia in a town called, or near Gallagher, at a rest area on the southbound side of I-77. Same thing. I'm dead tired. I can't stay awake any longer. I squeeze into a little spot at this rest area about 4:30 in the morning. I can't wait to get in bed. I get into bed. Truck's all closed up. The windows are closed. I get into bed. I'm asleep before my head hit the pillow. But something woke me up, and this is how it went. I immediately started dreaming that I'm moving through the darkness. In my dream, I'm vertical, rolling on the seat or coasting on the seat of a bicycle. Something grabs me, which would be similar to like a parachute harness. I'm a former paratrooper. It felt like a parachute harness on me, but squeezing my neck as well, and then it was like being tightened down, and it started to physically hurt me in my crotch area and on my shoulders, and started to choke me, and it began to lift me up into the air, and I shook myself awake, screaming, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Yeah.
I woke up.
Listen, sir, we're going to have to leave it there, but I'm not trading dreams with you. I don't want any of those dreams at all. I appreciate your reciting all that to us, but we're going to have to go, unless you got a punchline here.
Yes. When I woke up, I fell to my bed. I was off my bed.
Oh, my.
Horizontally.
You were actually in the air?
In the air a couple inches and fell to my bed when I woke up. And it scared the hell out of me.
I'm sure it did.
Just thinking about it.
I hear you.
Sat down on my bed. What would do that? Is that like, was I being attacked by an evil spirit or something, or what?
Okay, let's see what they say. Sometimes there is a jolting awake that feels as though you're falling out of the air. That's all I can offer up.
Yeah, and I would agree. I would agree with that, Art. A lot of times it feels like we're falling back to the bed because when we come into our consciousness, we're out in a dream state. Right. We literally feel like we've just dropped from the ceiling sometimes, and it's a perception having to do with coming back to the physical.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a break, our final break right here. Stay right where you are. And, gee, I wonder if I wanted to do a show one night on trucking. Do you think we could get enough calls from truckers to do a show like that? Hot for that thought. From the high desert, the great American Southwest. This is Dark Matter, proceeding, raging in the night. And here comes Dave, who sent me a wormhole message. And Dave says, for me, dreams are free entertainment, good or bad. must say, I love the bad ones. That'd be the first person I've heard say that. He actually enjoys the bad dreams. Are there people like that you guys encounter?
I was working with an 11-year-old today, and that's exactly what he said.
Really?
Yep.
That's amazing. Really amazing. I don't like the bad ones. I'll pass on those. Okay, boy, it's been a long time. Kansas, thank you for waiting, Bob. Rob.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Rob, it is, yes.
Hello, Art. How you doing?
I'm going to guess that you're an over-the-road truck driver.
You are absolutely correct, sir.
Boy, that was really a shot in the dark, but I made it. Anyway, what's up?
Well, speaking of shots in the dark, Art, I think I know what your announcement is tomorrow. If you want to hear about it, if you want to let me take a shot at it, I will after I talk to your guests here. But if not, I'll send you an email. But anyway.
Okay, send me an email.
Okay, I'll do it. And I will title it that Art, I don't know, Rob the Art, something like that. But anyway.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, for your guest, I've had a dream for several years now that I went to a girl that claimed to be like a little witch or psychic, or she claimed to know stuff that other people don't know. And she was very young. She didn't have a business or nothing, but she gave me a description of what she thought caused it, and I'll ask you what you think causes it. But I've got this dream that I'm a sycamore tree. I don't know if you've ever seen a specific sycamore tree, but they're extremely tall. They're big. They grow where they can get a lot of water.
Wait a minute. Okay. You dreamed you were a tree?
No. I dreamed this dream has to do with the sycamore tree. Okay. But I'm in the very, very, very top of this tree. And I don't know why I didn't climb it, but for some reason I fall. And I fall not down the tree through the branches, but away from the tree. I fall like all of a sudden I'm 50 feet from the tree, and I'm falling straight to the ground, and I'm falling so fast that my body outruns my soul, or I go into an out-of-body experience. I watch myself hit the ground. It's extremely loud, the thump, and I see myself roll over, and I hear a moan. After that, I wake up.
Okay.
I have no idea.
How long have you had that dream?
How long have I had it? Since I was probably 17, and I am 41 now.
When's the last time you had it?
Probably, I don't know. I joined the Army after September 11th, and I was graduated from basic training. I had it while I was active duty. But so I would say the last time probably 6 years ago.
Were you a jumper in the military?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. When we have a recurring dream like that, it's a strong message for us. And when it happens, when it occurs, the key question you ask yourself is, what's going on in my life right now? The dream is directly tied into that. Now, that being said, typically what that type of dream is about is soul traveling and falling back into the body. And the dream sensor jumbles the symbology, and it's represented for you by the sycamore tree, and you're falling off of the tree, and you hit the ground with the loud thump. So pretty much, it's probably a soul travel dream and coming back into the body.
Okay, so now I have actually more questions than I have answers.
Hey, you can always shoot us an email, hon. We'll be glad to work with you. Pro bono. We do pro bono work all the time, so.
Pro bono is good. All right. We've got to leave it there because we're running out of time. If they want to send you an email, how do they do it?
Well, they can go to our website, trustyourself.tv, like television. And they'll take it right to the website. They can get a hold of us through there. They can order the books, do-it-yourself system, give us a call, send us an email, donate to our...
I want to interrupt you because it says here, trustyourselfsystem.com.
Oh, we have several URLs, but they all go to the same website, Art.
Or dreamteamcoaching.tv.
That's correct. Correct. They'll all get you to the same place.
All right.
Yeah.
And any books you would like to, you must have a favorite book you'd like to plug right now, right?
Well, they're all about knowingness. One is called the Trust Yourself System. It's an actual manual with formulas on how to interpret any dream, sign, or intuitive hunch. One is called Trust Yourself, Master Your Dreams, Master Your Destiny. One is all about the HUE. One-step solution, just say HUE, the universal panacea. And the last one is Sociology of Soul. So...
Trust me, if anything came through tonight, HUE definitely came through. So
yeah.
I want to thank you both for being here. It has been a blast, like a dream come true, actually. So we'll do it again one day to be sure that this, ladies and gentlemen, is what long-form talk radio is like, where you really get into a subject. Thank you both.
Thanks, Art. Have a good one.
Really enjoyed it, Art. Thanks.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye. All right, well, that's it for this night. Tomorrow night, of course, is Spooky Matter. Been waiting for that for a while, and we may call you. Still a chance to get in if you've got a really scary ghost story. Send it to artbell@artbell.com, along with a phone number, and we might call you. How's that for a swap? Anyway, we will have an announcement of some description tomorrow night for the end of the show. For now, good night from the high desert.
And with that, we bring tonight's From Day One to a close. Please, as always, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe as we march along here from Day One. Have a great night, best of sleep, and see you in the morning.